Humans have a fear of impermanence. We go against nature to try to preserve and stabilize and control something that resists all of that. Around 2010, I started deep frying flowers and plants. This very clunky batter is almost masking and destroying the flower itself. And then you subject them to 300-degree hot oil. The visual aspects of it was definitely something that I was aiming for, but the odor of like French fries of an artwork or something, that was very much compelling me to, fry up a batch of these. There's always been an incredible, vulnerable aspect to my work. Many of my works use this element of deterioration and perishable materials. I'm interested in the kind of mutations that can take place in these changes. I work with living creatures, ultrasound gel, bacteria, algae, kelp, and soap. So good. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about this. Wow, it's like seeing a piece for the first time again. It's really good. There is such a sensual quality to this soap. The thing that really keeps haunting me is this glowing, floating underwater kind of quality. And it's really hard to do, because resin doesn't do it, acrylic doesn't do it. Right. And as problematic and volatile as it is, I'm trying to retain and capture that quality. I can tell you what to anticipate is that because glycerin is a humectant, it will just over time slowly shrink a little.
And so that's okay.
If you get dents and cuts and gashes, that's fine. It's not intended to be pristine and perfect. I'm quite omnivorous in the areas and disciplines where I draw from. Before it's even a fully fleshed idea, I start small trials in the studio, much like you would do in a laboratory. As the trials start to bear fruit, we bring in the experts to help us, whether it's a software engineer or a forensic chemist or a perfumer. I look to the natural sciences, synthetic sciences, artificial intelligence research. That seems like a very maximalist approach, but I think that we can't really discount how we are influenced by all of these different systems and ideas and information. I just want to climb up on these hills and just enter into the screen and go into the drawing.
Yeah.
How can I translate that then into the outer world? That feeling of wanting to climb up these hills. Because that's what these anemone panels do for me.
Yeah.
That rolling, undulating feeling.
Yeah.
But then when we're talking about more of a kind of maybe, I don't know, maybe we need to think about something more immersive. We have a very limited imagination when it comes to machines. We have a lot of anxiety that they will replace us. But what if we could relate to them in a more optimistic way? I really wanted to merge the biosphere with the technosphere. I consulted software engineers, molecular biologists to create what I call aerobes. I was inspired by the comb jellyfish, the lion's mane mushroom. The machines respond and detect one another through high-frequency radio waves. And they're able to detect heat signatures of visitors. Some aerobes are curious about the visitors, while some are more shy. It was really important for me that they were unpredictable and that they had space and time for their own evolution. You know that they're mechanical, and yet they feel palpably alive. It inspires a feeling of awe and calm, like you're swimming next to a humpback whale. I'm always surprised how much power that they had to quell a lot of anxiety. With these aerobes, I too get to inhabit this space of wonder.
Another kind of trace is formidably encapsulated by the French word sillage. It means the degree to which a perfume's fragrance lingers in the air when worn. So in a way, an organism's sillage is a living presence sensed even in the absence of a body or an author.
Oh yeah, this is the bullfrog.
That is very animal.
It's like boggy, frog, swampy.
Very swampy.
One of the earliest forms of inquiries in my research was how we relate to smell, how it informs what I would call the biopolitics of our senses. I grew up in a very pungent home and was very keenly and acutely aware of how smell does start to create these forms of identity around these invisible scent molecules. In the Western world, we really tend to reject very pungent odors as a sign of weakness, as a sign of being more animal. We have left those odors behind us to a perfectly sanitized world where we control what we can smell and what we can't. And that is an impossible approach to existence. I had an exhibition in Milan, and I worked with a French artist and perfumer, Christophe Laudamel. One of the central series are 2 dryer doors with 2 different scents. One dryer door had a bullfrog aroma. The other contained this broomstick, sort of cardboard, sweeping away aroma after everything has been packed up in your home, getting ready to evacuate a space that holds a lot of memories of love and sadness and despair. It really is about memory, but also forgetting and letting go. I always straddled this awkward line between perishability and non-perishability. We look to art as a form of preservation, as a statement on our civilization, on our species. And yet, you can't have monumentality without recognizing the embedded vulnerability around monumentality. My work deals a lot with what it means that things are perpetually blossoming and decaying. Change is the most constant form that we can acknowledge and embrace.